We're being joined by market expert Sudheep Bandhopadhyay on the show. Sudheep, hi, good to be speaking with you. You know, so much has happened on the crude price front globally. Give us a sense of how, first of all, you think Reliance's earnings later today are going to be, and then we'll get a better sense on your segmental breakup. But first, give us an all-round sense on how do you expect Reliance to perform later today.
Well, I think it will be a steady, stable quarter, and there will be, we'll discuss segments later, but O2C, which was normally a challenge for the last few quarters for Reliance, we expect recovery there. Of course, the oil prices moving up has been good for Reliance, and I think refining margins too should be good. So O2C chemical recovery will be, the kind of standout feature for the Reliance results this time. That's what we expect.
All right, Sudeep. Meryl D'Souza also here joining in. How do you see GRMs for the company this time around? Do you expect strong gross refining margins to support the business of the oil to chemical segment?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the GRMs will be much better, and that will definitely support the overall income for the business. Look, I think Singapore GRMs also had strengthened, and Indian refiners GRMs are definitely better. Reliance GRMs are always much better than Singapore GRMs. So as far as Reliance and the GRM is concerned, it should be probably will surprise us on the positive side. But anyway, stronger GRM is expected for this quarter.
Okay, understood. Sudeep, also give us your sense on the entire FMCG and retail business. I remember last quarter, FMCG business did well. They've chalked out lofty goals for themselves, but there was some concern around retail. Do you believe retail EBITDA will continue to slow down, and any adverse impact of the scale-up of hyperlocal deliveries that will weigh heavier on the retail front?
Well, there may be some challenges in terms of incremental costs for scaling up the hyperlocal delivery and the quick commerce kind of a delivery mechanism. That will put some pressure, but we expect a decent growth as far as the top line is concerned. Margins may be under a shade bit of pressure, but overall, I think retail also should come up with a good set of numbers. I think if we see the numbers, business numbers, which has been disclosed by multiple tier 2, tier 3 retail companies, V2 retail, VMart retail, and companies like that, I think their numbers have been pretty good. So Reliance Retail having significant exposure and spread in the hinterlands of India, apart from metros and mini metros, I think also should benefit from this rural consumption surge, which we have seen in case of other smaller retailers.
All right, so a positive outlook on Reliance's retail business is what you're penciling in. But on the oil and gas front, production from the K6, KG-D6 block has been seen declining. Do you expect this to hamper the results or lead to a weaker EBITDA performance from this segment?
I think this has been going on for quite some time, and this is kind of factored in the numbers pretty much everywhere by everybody. So I don't think there will be any disappointment or any kind of significant impact of this particular slowdown. Lower KG-D6 production has been kind of coming for many quarters in the recent past as well. So we are all baked in that.
It is largely pencil in, and that's what we're expecting to see in the earnings as well. Sudeep, what about Jio? What are your expectations on the ARPU front, and how do you think it's going to perform versus its peers?
Well, I think it's going to be a very, very good quarter of performance. First of all, I think the announcements which came today, I think, in your publication, I think the satellite permission, which they are expected to get soon, I think this is a fantastic news for long-term growth prospect. Of course, the existing business also should come up with much, much better set of numbers. The customer additions have been steady. The ARPU growth, the full impact of the ARPU growth will be visible in this quarter, and we expect a fantastic quarter from Jio as well. Also, we will, of course, wait for incremental disclosures regarding the forthcoming IPO, if at all they come today post the results during the management call.
All right, understood.
But how important will the management's commentary on Jio's valuation and the progress on regulatory clearance be for investors? Is that an important one to watch?
An important one to watch, and everybody will be focusing on that to a great extent. This is going to be probably the largest IPO in Indian exchanges, and investors across the country as well as international investors are waiting for this IPO. And with this satellite launch, imminent satellite launch permissions coming to Geo, I think that puts it in a completely different league. And we have seen what kind of valuations Starlink globally got, and what kind of valuations this can eventually, lead to for Geo business as well.
Sudeep, I was just looking at Jio's ARPU number 214 in the previous quarter, and also the listing timeline has been given up to October. That's the tentative timeline that the street is working with. Do you see this happen around October, before October? And if you have any number that you're penciling in on the ARPU front?
Well, we also don't have a specific number on the ARPU front, but as far as the timelines, we have been talking about a Diwali kind of a listing. And I expect Geo to get listed by Diwali, which is towards the end of October, early November this year. And I don't see much of a challenge in that happening as things stand today. The market, irrespective of the mood and particular volatility, I think these are some of the IPOs, both NSE as well as Reliance Jio, which will be accepted by the market in a very, very good way. There won't be dearth of investors, and I expect a lot of global investors also to participate in a big.
Okay, sounding good. And in fact, yes, Sudeep, on the IPO front, you've got NSE, you've got Jio, and of course the SBI mutual fund IPO. That has also seen some crazy oversubscription. So seems like the primary markets are going to be alive once again. Hail and hearty over there. But on that note, Sudeep, thank you so much for your views on what to expect from Reliance later today.